So concerted effort on your part and genuine love and just really good synchronicity and great sort of sense of autonomous confidence and openness to the adventure on both your parts. Yeah. But still, my mom will shrivel if she hears like I couldn't get it up. Oh. Mm-hmm. I don't, I just anatomically, biologically, physiologically, and I've tried. I have tried. Don't tell my bishop. No. But, really, genuinely, and so as much as you can share, like, where do you go from, like, feeling like, oh, I'm totally, totally gay, and, I love her, and I want to even, I want to marry, but, I mean, physiologically, sexuality is based within the biology, and so, at least in my opinion, it's not just a behavioral choice, as we talked.
Were you talking personally there for a moment? Was that real?
Wait, which part?
Just, I can't tell if you were speaking metaphorically or if that was your actual experience.
That I couldn't get it up? Oh, yeah.
I'm like totally wanting to go counselor on you right now.
Yeah.
Let's talk.
I've pursued and tried and... pursued and tried and tried. And I'm not afraid of the female body. Like some people are like, oh, it's just disgusting. It's like, no,
that's not the issue here.
It's beautiful, I have good taste and I can recognize beauty. And I even can conceptualize sex with a female, but when it comes down to actually building a bonding relationship, again, like I could experiment maybe once or twice. We're putting the law of chastity aside for a second, but just if I had to experiment, I think I could maybe experiment once or twice. But then the bonding and the I just wouldn't be drawn in, and then I feel like I would get caught in the I'm not drawn in, and therefore I'm not. Sort of feeding her needs to be desired and bond on that level, and it would just be like, it's just I can't go there for both of our sakes.
I think that you've described. I don't even know how to. I didn't go there mentally. Like. What am I even saying?
Are you saying I'm overthinking it?
I mean, it's an important thing to think about, but I did not, I was not thinking about it actually quite that deeply, or having like our wedding night, for example, was very low stress, strangely. It was very just kind of like chill and like, whatever happens, like it was just really relaxed, and the expectations were, I'm sure we had like expectations, but we were trusting of each other enough that if things had kind of ended in a not great way, it would have been okay. And we would have been like able to just the next day be like, okay, we'll see. So I would not. There was not like this feeling of like, oh, this is like of panic. Not to say that this is what you were feeling, but I have heard of people feeling this kind of like, oh, this isn't working, and what am I doing? And like, oh crap, I've started this thing, and now it's not going to work. And then the mental pressure builds up to the point where. Suddenly it's like anytime you're in that kind of intimate situation, instead of it being this kind of joyous connection, it's just this kind of repugnant, belabored self
in spite of really good communication, because I think I'm pretty good at that. Like I can say like, I don't know if this is going to work, and let's try, and I know it's not your fault and it's not my fault, and but even trying to keep it all copacetic, it would just still not
actually
which is definitely, I think we're referencing a lot of relationships from maybe a previous generation or so where they weren't enabled to communicate. They didn't have cultural permission to let's talk about this like you guys did and availed yourself of. I mean, you guys are, I'd still say, a little advanced from your own generation in terms of
it's possible
intimacy and communication.
I'm all feeling good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
So sort of referencing some, we're able to benefit from the lessons and the sad lives of those in the past.
Right.
Definitely.
For sure.
So.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
I would be interested seriously to sit you down, like explore this. Like I would be fascinated.
We got
on camera.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like where it would go, but
But you can keep at me if you want. And,
sure.
Did you ever explore? Because I'm still sort of interested in your process of going from, wherever you were to this awesome sex life you have now. Did you do any sort of reparative therapies? Did you do like journey into manhood? People can change, sort of.
I did do some reparative therapy. I mean, it wasn't like I was like, I'm opting for reparative therapy. It was more like when I was 16. In fact, Wally was like, maybe you should talk to your bishop, And so then I went to LDS Social Services, and the therapy there at the time was reparative. Mm-hmm. And so...
based on like principles of you were emasculated by your dad and your mom was overbearing.
I think those kinds of ideals, which I think there's some truth somewhere in the, I don't. But fundamentally, reparative therapy. I mean, just the whole idea that it's going to change. Like there's just this very undergirding principle that is wrong. That's problematic, and that.
But that's interesting. I want to parse that out. I mean,
sure.
So you're sort of saying you do feel like it could be a nature-nurture confluence of an overlay and something triggered, and then this happened to my dad, maybe was a little distant or whatever. But once it is set, as it were, are you saying sort of you feel like once it's set, undoing it is a...
Yeah. I don't think it's...
as a non-starter.
I don't think it changes.
And interesting.
And that's why
I would not agree.
Dean Bird would... He's rolling in his grave right now. Wait, he's passed away, right? He's all alive, and I'm... So...
I'll explain to the world who Dean Bird is and why he would roll in his grave. Bless his soul.
Bless his soul.
Because it definitely runs counter to even a lot of existing practices and theories that are very pervasive in the Mormon community about... True. Well, if it isn't, we can even reference somebody like President Packer that reinforces the notion that you are not born that way. It is not, God did not make a mistake and turn you however it happened. And because it is this temporary overlay, a product of nature and nurture, whatever, the fact that it is unnatural, it is, just sort of artificially, I had a better word, but generated, therefore it can and must be undone. That's the common thinking, and you're saying, no, once it's set, and it is futile to attempt to repair.
Yeah, I think that, and it's not so much, so it's like, so first of all, nature versus nurture, question mark, I don't know either way, and it very well could be really, really nature, way more than nurture. But whatever the case, I personally have yet to meet someone that can look me in the eye and legitimately, honestly tell me that their fundamental orientation has shifted. Not other things, I feel like this idea of change is often touted, and different things are being referenced, and different things have changed, and I don't want to discredit the idea that that people have improved their lives and feel better and feel more whole and so in no way do I mean to disrespect anybody when I say when I share my personal approach and even my own therapeutic approach, but yeah, I don't think that fundamental thing, I don't think it shifts. It certainly hasn't in me at all. There's been some minor shifting within one relationship, which I chose a decade ago and have consistently worked on, and had multiple, frankly, reinforcing. I've had many sexual experiences, with this person over the course of a decade. You're right here. Her name is Lolly. I don't know. Yeah, and
multiple.
Orgasms. So in terms of conditioning, if there is any possibility of conditioning, it's going in that direction, and maybe that has influenced things in a minor way. But like, I'm not attracted to other women, and I am still sexually attracted to men as much as I ever was, and so.
Do you subscribe in any sense to a scale, not even necessarily Kinsey, whatever, but a scale in terms of? Is that a way? Is that a framework for understanding sexual behavior or attraction?
I think it is a framework, and I think frameworks are useful.
But yeah, not to stick somebody in like, are you a 6 or a 7?
Right. And I have always felt like I'm as gay as you can get. Like, it's hard to even describe it, but I just,
So, but then would you categorize your, growing attraction to your wife a behavioral modification only, or is there a sexual orientation modification? Because this is the stuff that we're really talking about here, right? In terms of there's the emotional component, the actual physical arousal component.
I don't know the answer to that question.
I'm like, so say I died, and
if she passed away and I had to marry someone else, I've actually had this thought numerous times where it's like, I wouldn't want to have to face. Please don't make me have to face that. That.
It's sort of like you lucked out that she was in your life pretty consistently for.
I love her, precisely, and I would not rule out the. I think that. I know my relationship with God, how it works, and how my devotion to Him works, and so I think that initially I would be like, I can't do it, it's just, but then eventually I think that probably I would kind of just open myself up to whatever He had in store, whatever that would be, and be open to the idea again of marrying someone else. But it would be a really difficult challenge, and it would be something that, I would be missing her terribly, and it would be. We have made, we've done a lot of work, and it would be starting at ground zero, and so. Anyway, I don't know if that answers your question, but.
That brings me to like the obvious role that religion plays in your guys' life, is spirituality. And it sounds like, almost for both of you, the religious imperative of heterosexual marriage and the eternal marriage and was a huge component in even accepting these sacrifices.
Yeah,
absolutely. That was
absolutely
beyond your. Hey, I like you. That sort of helps.
Absolutely.
But feeling like this is part of the gospel plan, that we need to sacrifice whatever we may for the greater good of the blessings of the gospel. So I guess my more general question is, I know it's important to you. How would you describe your relationship to religion in terms of how important it is to you and what role it plays in your life that then influences your choice to be in this mixed orientation marriage?
Want me to go, or do you want to go? I can go. So. I just don't want to talk too much. Cut me off if you need to at some point.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, you just like,
Josh, got it.
So, hugely important. My relationship with Heavenly Father is very profound, and has been for a long time. And I do feel like He specifically guides my life, and very clearly guides my life. And I feel like He loves me for me. In the totality of who I am, and I feel like my connection to Him is very vibrant and very important to me, and I feel like He communicates to me, and and that communication is a really, really sacred and important component of my life, and there's no question that factored in, and that when it came to my testimony, and when it came to me making important decisions. It was a very personalized relationship with deity that was the basis of it. It wasn't like, doctrine and all of that other stuff rests upon that, of course, but ultimately it was a question of what does Heavenly Father want for my life? It was a full submission of trust and confidence in Him,
and you felt like a personal what's the word? Like revelation or clarification, like you were saying, beyond the generalized applicable doctrine. Like for you feel this is the path Heavenly Father said, no, you can and should do this.
Yeah. And we're simplifying a very lengthy process of multiple answers, and it's, it sounds all linear right now, but it's different conclusions and different spiritual impressions over the course of time that lead to different outcomes. But ultimately, absolutely, it was, and that's what I want for my clients too. Whatever that means for them, I would not presume to know what their relationship with deity is or what the path that He has for them would be. How presumptuous would that be? But more just forge the connection and know what you know what is right for you, and follow that path.
So if Heavenly Father had said, you need to be with a man.
Hard to conceptualize that because of the other doctrinal stuff upon which that rests upon it. I don't know if I believe that. I almost can't even go there mentally. Not to say that other people can't or don't.
And definitely there's story after story coming out of I really struggled and felt a clear revelation that God said, you are what you are, and you should have a relationship with a same sex.
Yeah, for me, no, that I've not had that experience, is what I'll say to that.